Now it's the end of the first weekend since alcohol sales reopened, and restaurants across Johannesburg have been busier than the past 3 weeks. In fact, Eateries experienced massive losses following the banning of alcohol sales as part of COVID-19 lockdown regulations. Ahmed Kajee is our reporter on the ground. He's live to us now from Maboneng, that's in central Johannesburg. No surprises, Ahmed, much busier now than perhaps in weeks gone by, but the question is, are people being safe?
Good evening, and it's business as usual out here in the Maboneng precinct, similar to the scenes that we had seen over a month ago. People are out in their numbers in the streets as we had seen earlier this afternoon, and the mood seems to be ever increasing over the evening. I'm just going to ask my camera operator, Senzo, to perhaps give you a brief look as to what is taking place in and around the Maboneng precinct. You will see cars have been coming down this road throughout, whether it is e-hailing services dropping people off in the area or just people perhaps driving through. But as you can see, with the number of cars parked on either side of the road, the restaurants in and around the area are full. But down the road as well, you'll see a number of people also taking photographs. There is art that's on sale as well. So on the far end, there seems to be at the corner intersection ahead of in your picture, you would see the majority of people mostly parking off there, gathering and then walking up to the various restaurants on the street as well. If we more or less, this environment and the busyness which we have seen in and around the area has been taking place since this afternoon. We understand it was really busy at lunchtime, quietened down slightly around the 5 o'clock time, and it has picked up again within the last 45 minutes or so. It is, even at the quietest here in Maboneng, it was still exceptionally busy compared to what we had seen in Melville earlier this afternoon as well. That was just around 2:30 or so. But I'm not going to bring in Melissa Adams. She's the manager over here of the Ravioli restaurant. Melissa, we had chatted to you last week. You told us that prices had been significantly impacted with regards to the lockdown. Could you maybe just take us through how business has been since the alcohol ban has been lifted?
Business has been much better. Business has been much better. Much better after the lockdown. The alcohol was brought back. We thank God for that. As I showed you earlier, we are practicing social distancing because we have space. So we've got enough space to have social distancing, and we have sanitizers at the door. So we are adhering to the regulations. And also, as I showed you, one tray of cool drinks, like five cool drinks, will normally cost you like 100 rand. But then with the wine and the Savannah or Heineken or something, to cost you something like 300 to 400 rand, which also helps us to make sure that we're able to pay our workers. So it is a relief. We are so excited. As you saw, the activity around here is much better than before.
Can you maybe just reflect on the amounts of people out here perhaps not maintaining and following all the regulations around social distancing, the wearing of masks, perhaps compared to what you're observing in your restaurant?
Well, we are very strict in the restaurant because as you're coming in, you must have a mask, and we also have the sanitizers there, and we make sure that we don't sit people close together. So we are adhering to the rules, and we're not having any problems with people complaining because they now understand that if they misbehave, we'll go back to lockdown. So it's been much better.
Melissa, thank you very much for your time this evening. There you have it, Ayanda. The regulations seem to be following within the various restaurants as well, but it seems that out on the streets, the regulations aren't necessarily being followed, and I think that's rather unfortunate given the fact that we are expecting, or at least health experts are saying that the fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic could actually be making its fall in Johannesburg and in and around Gauteng and South Africa by the middle of October. So given how things are rolling out currently in Maboneng, whether we will be seeing that fourth wave taking place in October, only time will tell.
Very quickly, Ahmed, this is obviously a situation that's much better than it was a few weeks ago, but are we anywhere near perhaps even those pre-lockdown levels? I mean, I'm only asking this because you've been in Maboneng a few times, and I'm sure you're able to make that comparison from your standpoint.
So Ayanda, it seems that things are relatively quieter this evening than we had seen a month ago. I'm sure you remember the evening that President Ramaphosa had announced that the alcohol ban was being re-implemented. Things were exceptionally busy. At that point in time, we actually thought that, if you happen to put a date or, take a picture and say this took place in 2019 or 2018 or even January of 2020, you'd think that that exactly was the situation. So things are very, a lot quieter than we had seen. So I think on that front, it is very promising to see that in some way or form there is the following of regulations. But in terms of what we are seeing on the ground, I think it's still very concerning around the number of people that actually aren't following the social distancing measures, not wearing the masks, especially in the streets, given the Delta variant being a lot more transmissible. And without people wearing any masks, I'm sure that based on what the health experts have told us, it seems that this is just an event like this obviously then gives the potential for the spreading of the coronavirus.
Right. Ahmed Kajee, thanks very much indeed. He's live to us there from Maboneng. It's in central Johannesburg. Some much needed reprieve, if you like, for many businesses. Hopefully, there aren't any unintended consequences like another surge in COVID-19 infections. But